to talk technology and innovation with our resident tech head, Billy Abraham. Billy, today we're talking about investment. More and more countries seem to be investing here in Israel, which is aptly named the startup nation, so it's understandable why. But today we're focusing on Japan.
Yeah, two countries.
Absolutely. And is there any challenges that Japan face in, coming into such strong ties with Israel?
Okay, so first of all, there are cultural differences. If you look at Japanese, they're more competitive than Israelis, although we do seem a lot more competitive, and they're more orientated to the long term. So if you want to make a deal with them, you have to tell them what the long-term benefits are as opposed to the short-term benefits, is something Israelis would want to hear. But there are a lot of opportunities. For example, in 2019, this year, investments are expected to surpass those of 2018. And by the way, Japan is the third largest economy, so this means that we are in a very good position now to do trade with it, more trade.
Absolutely. And what accounts for the investment surge in the first place?
Okay, so first of all, our improved relations with Arab countries, that's something that is very positive. Another thing is that Japan is less dependent on oil coming from Arab countries. Bilateral investment between the two countries, we've signed an agreement in 2017, and we can provide a significant competitive edge to Japan, and that's why it seeks different companies here in Israel. And by the way, there are tensions between the US and China, which means that Japan will become much more attractive to Israeli investors.
Absolutely. And while you've just mentioned the US and China, what other countries are investing heavily in Israel?
Okay, so the top one is the US. In 2018, it invested $46 billion here in Israel. Then China, $4 billion. But there are a lot of interesting things happening with China. So first of all, Bright Food Group purchased a controlling stake in Tnuva, the giant food company here in Israel. It also struck deals to manage the Haifa and Ashdod ports, which is also very significant. Alibaba, which we all use here in Israel to buy stuff. So there's Alibaba Group acquired several companies here in Israel. It acquired 5 startups. And by the way, it also opened a research and development center back in 2017. And last year, Alibaba's CEO, Jack Ma, visited the country twice in order to see how we can look for more companies and further develop relations between the two countries.
Absolutely, and I can imagine that as time goes on, Israel is just going to become a target by more and more countries around the world.
Definitely.
Billy Abraham, thank you so much for joining me.
It was a pleasure.